Welcome back, everyone, to another second stimulus check and second stimulus package update. Today is Monday, October 19th. The clock is ticking, and we have some groundbreaking news to cover. Now, just one small favor before we get into the news. Go ahead and give the video a big thumbs up, smash the like button. This will help with that YouTube algorithm. YouTube will push the video out to more people. That way it will benefit all of us. If you do that, go ahead and just click that like button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. And by the way, if you are brand new here, you're not too familiar with our channel just yet, you might want to consider subscribing. Hit that big red button. I actually post videos now every single solitary day, no exceptions and no excuses. And I do all sorts of topics ranging from business to finance, investing, entrepreneurship, mindset, strategy, and tips and tricks from my own experience. I also do the stimulus package and stimulus check updates. So if any of these topics appeal to you, go ahead and just click that big red button, the subscribe button. And then if you want to take it a step further while you're down there, go ahead and click that notification bell as well. That notification bell will just notify you every single time I do make a new one. That way you're first in line to get the news, get the updates before anyone else. So go ahead and do that for me. So it's no secret that the clock is ticking. So in light of this, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that herself and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin must reach an agreement within 48 hours if they want to reach a stimulus deal before Election Day. Now, Pelosi said this yesterday, and today is already Monday, which means the deadline is tomorrow, Tuesday. Both sides are still struggling to reach an agreement before the election, and both Democrats and Republicans are still hundreds of billions of dollars apart in their proposals. There's still major policy differences when it comes to testing for the virus. There's the child tax credit provisions and also state and local government funding that both sides are unable to reach a compromise on. Last time we had a comprehensive, robust package pass was back in March. That was the CARES Act, and many of the provisions have already lapsed. The federal boost of unemployment benefits ran out in July, airline assistance ran out in October, and Americans are still eagerly waiting the much-needed stimulus checks. Now, at first, at the beginning of this month, as we know from a few updates ago, President Trump announced that he would abruptly be cutting talks of negotiations until after Election Day in an effort to fast-track the Amy Coney Barrett nomination and confirmation. But since then, he reversed course and reopened negotiations with congressional Democrats and is now vocally supporting larger stimulus than the Democrats. He believes that Senate Republicans will ultimately succumb and do the higher numbers, as he calls them, but there's simply no evidence of that, and now we are just less than 3 weeks away till the election. Now, Pelosi discussed that 48-hour clause that she has put forth in an interview on ABC's This Week, and she said, quote, "The 48 only relates to if we want to get it done before the election, which we do." Quote, "But we're saying to them we have to freeze the design on some of these things. Are we going with it or not? And what is the language?" Now, you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, the election isn't until November 3rd. Why is she putting a deadline of 48 hours, which is tomorrow, the 20th? Well, she's putting this pressure on the administration to cut the deal by Tuesday because she knows the legislative process will take a long time to play out in both the House and the Senate. It won't be feasible to get a bill passed through both chambers by November 3rd if talks continue to drag on for the next couple days. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell did announce on Saturday that there would be new votes on new stimulus measures, including a PPP bill or a Paycheck Protection Program bill, as the funding for that program is running out. He announced this on Saturday, and this package would help small businesses, but there's no mention of any stimulus checks, and the votes are expected to occur on Tuesday and Wednesday. And Democrats are already expected to block McConnell's effort as they are going for that larger deal and banking on again and off again talks that have been going on with Pelosi and Mnuchin for months now. Now, how specific is this Tuesday deadline? Well, according to Pelosi's office, they told CNN on Sunday that the 48 hours refers to the end of the day on Tuesday and that they need answers to key outstanding questions by then, or they won't be able to get a deal passed before the election. Now, negotiations would still continue after Tuesday. They're not going to just stop because the deadline wasn't reached. However, it does mean that a robust stimulus package would not be completed before Election Day. Pelosi in that interview also fired back at the administration, saying that the White House has watered down language that Democrats have been pushing to create a national plan for COVID-19 testing and contact tracing. She also noted that the Trump administration had changed much of the language on testing and tracing after the two sides seemingly came to an agreement last week. She said, quote, "They took out 55% of the language that we had there for testing and tracing, and that they are seeking clarity on the details of the language." Pelosi further criticized the language from the Trump administration in a letter to her colleagues on Sunday, and it was sent to House Democrats about what would be funded for coronavirus testing under a stimulus agreement. Pelosi wrote, quote, "While there was some encouraging news, much work remains," and that the White House had assured them that there would be only a quote, light touch of editing on their language, but instead there were major changes. Quote, the White House does not appreciate the need to direct resources to culturally competent contact tracing. Instead of recognizing the need for a strategic plan, they have changed words including shall to may, requirement to recommendation, and strategic plan to strategy. She said that these changes would, quote, make the funding a slush fund for the administration, which may grant or withhold rather than a prescribed funded plan to crush the virus. And then Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer blasted McConnell's plan to hold a vote on this smaller $500 billion stimulus package. Democrats already blocked a similar bill from the Republicans back in September, and Chuck Schumer called it a sham. He said it was, quote, inadequate just up and down the line on state and local funding, on testing, on the need to open schools safely, on the census, on protecting workers who need healthcare benefits, and I can go on and on. Quote, so that is just a sham. It is a stunt by Senator McConnell when he's blocked everything that's happened so far, and in terms of getting an agreement, he's even said he wouldn't go along with what Donald Trump wanted. Schumer slammed Republicans and McConnell and even called them, quote, the #1 reason why we don't have an agreement on a relief package yet. Pelosi and Mnuchin spoke on Saturday, and according to Drew Hammill, who is the spokesman for Nancy Pelosi, he said that Pelosi and Mnuchin will once again conversate today, Monday. Unfortunately, if a miracle happens, the upshot of this will be the fact that we will not see another stimulus package pass before Election Day, and according to economists, if the Trump administration and congressional leaders do not reach an agreement, the economic effects can be long-lasting and devastating. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that an agreement will not be reached tomorrow, Tuesday, unless something absolutely miraculous were to occur, but we've already seen how these talks can collapse, and especially in the midst of an election season, everyone's in campaign mood. That is the vibe. And no one is really totally focused on the stimulus package right now, as there's so many seats up for grabs and, of course, the presidency. But at the same time, it is disconcerting to see how fast and swift they are trying to get Amy Coney Barrett confirmed to the Supreme Court when there's so many millions and millions of Americans right now who have not even gotten one penny. Some people are still waiting for the first stimulus check that they didn't even get. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Let's make predictions. Let me know down below in the comments. Do you believe that an agreement will be reached tomorrow, Tuesday? I'm already going to say and predict that the conclusion will be decisive and the majority will say no. But we'll see what happens, and more updates are to come. But I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you got value out of it, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Smash the like button for me. And as you know, this is your one-stop shop. This is your hub for everything regarding business, finance, investing, entrepreneurship, mindset, strategy, and tips and tricks from my own experience. I also do these stimulus check and stimulus package updates. Again, if any of those niches appeal to you, hit that big red button, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell as well. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video.